Hey guys, this is Dustin. I got a review for you. Now, this fragrance is a fragrance that I have a fair bit of experience with. This is when I first started getting into collecting fragrances. This was the first bottle I bought. And it had a lot of hype behind it. And it's also been crapped on a lot because of kind of the opening of it gets crapped on quite a bit. Now, the fragrance I'm talking about is Armaf Cdnim Intense Man. This is eau de toilette. You can also get it in the eau de parfum. You could also get it in a limited edition parfum. Now, what this is cloning is Creed Aventus. Now, for me, more specifically, I find it's trying to clone the older batches of Aventus that are heavier on the birch tar note, which gives it that smoky, slightly smoky and woody note that you get from the birch. Now, a lot of the newer batches of Aventus, you rarely pick up on any of the birch. It's more noticeably about the pineapple and the bergamot. And from what I've heard, the older batches of Aventus, longevity and performance is 8+ hours easily. But if you're wanting that kind of performance out of Aventus, you're going to be paying a pretty penny no matter what. So this one, on the opening, I get what people are saying about that sharp opening. And that sharp opening comes from a lemon note that is only really there for the first few minutes. And a lot of people say it's reminiscent of like a lemon cleaner. And I don't know if I'd say I get a lemon cleaner vibe out of it, but the lemon is very prominent within the first few minutes. And once that dissipates, that's when I myself, I don't get much pineapple out of this, but I do get a fair bit of a zesty bergamot mixed in with that birch tar note. And it's one of the fragrances in my collection that I think, out of the 30+ bottles I have received more compliments wearing Cdnim Intense Man Eau de Toilette than anything else in my collection. And I'm saying, from wearing like Prada Black to Armani Code EDP, Givenchy Gentleman, I've had numerous bottles, and I have not received as many compliments from any bottle in my collection as I have this and Armaf Cdnim Man, which is Armaf's 1 million clone, or their clone of Paco Rabanne's 1 million. Now, this I find super versatile. To the untrained nose, they aren't going to really be able to tell a difference between this and Aventus in the air, except this kicks the absolute crap out of any recent batches of Aventus in performance and longevity. And I say this because I recently got a sample of Creed Aventus. I didn't get a batch code or batch number off it. It's just a free sample. And literally within an hour and a half, I couldn't even smell it on my skin anymore. And that's what drives me up the wall, is Creed still charging $400+ for a 100 milliliter bottle of something that barely even lasts an hour and a half. And I know that's subject to skin chemistry, but out of all the reviews I've seen, I would say at least 50-60% of people roughly are saying that the longevity isn't what it used to be. And I'm part of that 50-60%. Now, if you're wanting that Creed Aventus style or inspired by fragrance, without paying $400. There is so many options out there. I mean, You have Club de Nuit Intense Man, you have the Parfum, you have the EDP, you have Mont Blanc Explorer, you have Aventus Silver Supremacy, Pineapple Vintage. There's got to be at least hundreds of clones of Creed Aventus. But what it comes down to is, what are you looking for? Are you looking for more of the old batch, which is heavier in the birch tar note? Right here. Any of the Club de Nuit Intense Man line I have found is more prominent in the birch tar note. If you're wanting more of the fruity style Aventus, there's Alhermain's La Adventure, La Adventure Intense, Aventus Silver Supremacy, Mont Blanc Explorer. There's so many different styles of different batches of Aventus, but I find on my skin, the performance from this, every bit of 8 to 10 hours, and this thing projects heavy the first few hours and leaves a lasting scent trail. And this stuff is a compliment magnet, a compliment machine. I mean, I know it gets crapped on, but I've never had anything where I've received as many compliments on it and like very specific comments, like that smells delicious, and just comments like that, than from this fragrance right here. And you could find this for right around, I'd say $35 or less. If you want to pay a little bit more for eau de parfum, you're going to be looking upwards of $40, $45, or even the limited edition parfum, you're looking upwards of $55, $60. But that is nowhere near what you're going to pay for Creed Aventus. Now, I'm going to give it a rank. So, like I said, when you spray this on, you're going to get that lemon note within the first few minutes. And then it dissipates after like 5-6 minutes. And that's when the bergamot and the woody undertones and slight smokiness of the birch come through. Now, I get, like I said, 8 to 10 hours performance. And the first few hours is above average projection, easily. Like, well past an arm's length. I'd say the first 3 hours. And it doesn't become about moderate projection until right about 6 hours on my skin. And it doesn't become a skin scent till right at 10 hours on my skin. So this thing is an absolute monster in performance, an absolute beast in projection. And with everybody, it's going to be different. But if you're wanting Creed Aventus on a budget, I mean, this was one of the first clones that got a lot of hype behind it. And I believe the hype is well deserved. And so for me, from 1 to 10, versatility, I think you could dress this thing up, you could dress this down, and to the untrained nose, people are just going to think you smell really good. So for versatility, I wear this all year round. I wear this in the summer, I'll wear it in the springtime, I'll wear it in the wintertime, I'll wear it in the fall. And it performs no matter how cold it is, it performs no matter how hot it is. It just performs. So for versatility, it gets a 9. Now, for performance, this thing is no slouch in performance and projection. Like I said, well past arm's length for the first few hours. So it gets another 9 out of 10. So for me, for price and value, it's for the performance you get for about $35 for 100 ml. It's hard to beat. So it's definitely, the price proposition is fantastic. So it's going to get a 9 out of 10 there. So for me, this is definitely a 9 out of 10 fragrance. Definitely one where I'm always going to need to have a backup bottle, because this thing just performs. It works. It's just, sure, it might be synthetic, but it's a fantastic fragrance if you're wanting an old style batch of Aventus in a fragrance without having to pay upwards of a few $100s for an older batch of Aventus. So that is my review on Club de Nuit Intense Man Eau de Toilette. Highly recommended. See you guys in the next one.